Hello, and it's a beautiful good morning to the Sunrise Breakfast Show. We're so glad that you are able to join us today. Wherever you're watching us from, we are glad that you have decided to spend your morning with us. Today, the 29th of June, 2026. Remember, wherever you're watching us from, you can drop us a line and tell us what you're doing and what you're up to this morning. You can watch us from PTV to Zambia on Facebook, and you can also watch channel 110 on TopStar and Azam TV at channel 9493. My name is Catherine, and I'm not alone today. I am with my co-host, Rhoda. Rhoda, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. It's good to see you this morning, and happy Monday to you.
Thank you so much. Mondays are always the days when we set the tone for the week, so I'm excited to be here today.
Pardon me, I've got a very terrible flu, but we'll try to manage it. And welcome to all the viewers that are tuning in this morning for the Sunrise Breakfast Show. We're so delighted and so excited that you could join us once again. And of course, there is so much that has been happening over the weekend. We'll give you some highlights of that. I know everybody woke up to different clips today on social media of what was happening at the Heroes Stadium, and so there's so much to talk about. But also do remember that you can send us that message through our social media platforms, and that is Facebook, obviously, on our live feed. PTV2 Zambia will be having some interesting conversations and some interesting guests as well. So wherever you might be watching us from, whether you're getting ready to go to the office, whether you are already at the office preparing the kids to go to school, or yourself preparing yourself to go to school, you're definitely covered up for the rest of the day and those updates that you've been waiting for on a beautiful Monday like this one.
Today we have, as always, news updates and a look at the morning papers. Remember to hear from us and get to know what's trending in the papers today. We also have two major discussions in studio. We look at spiritual rejuvenation and regional church partnerships as we talk to Prophet Patrick Rodriguez and Pastor Marcus Van Reenen. Later in the hour, we will pivot to a massive conversation on national economics, discussing civil servant debt, Zambia's foreign currency reserves, and the tough financial choices already ahead with financial analyst Shadreck Lusambo. But before we get into all this, I just wanted to talk with you, Rhoda. I mean, the weekend was so jam-packed with a lot of activities. We saw yesterday one of the biggest events that happened over the weekend. This was the launch of the UPND rally. So what else did you see, or do you have your own observations about what happened during the weekend?
It was a big event, definitely. I think the first clip that I came across, everybody was live yesterday, so it was very hard to stick to one, live video. But I saw Mr. Alexander, who's currently standing as Matero Member of Parliament. He was coming through with his crowd. They walked all the way from Matero to Hero Stadium. I did also see an aspiring Member of Parliament for Chawama who also had, their own audience. They were walking to Heroes. And there were just so many people. But interestingly, we also did see that there were a lot of musicians that, were at this particular event. And we did see there was Roberto, there was Zakolaskin, there was Yo Maps. There were quite a number, Zaven, just to mention but a few. So it was quite an interesting rally. And I think, that lineup of artists did attract a lot of people to go there and just support and watch. You never know, maybe some people just went to have a free concert because as we did see, there were a lot of performances, and I like their strategy that they used some of these influencers to, just be part of the rally. I think that's what drew a lot of people to just go there and have a sneak peek of the fun that was happening.
I think also that the use of influencers to campaign on behalf of the party has also raised some issues. You know, a
Yeah.
lot of people are saying, well, because first of all, I heard a conversation that Shefi 187 had
Yeah.
when they talked about, you know, him producing a song for
Yeah.
politicians. He said, I think that I have a very huge fan base. And if I went out to sing and praise a certain political party, my fans may feel like I am inciting them or trying to manipulate them to
Yeah.
like that party. So over the weekend, we saw that a lot of influencers have been supporting the UPND, supporting
Yeah.
the launch of the party. And people are wondering because some of these were clearly known not to be UPND supporters.
Yeah.
But we know that obviously they've been paid to do these, you know, these adverts. So my question to you is that how do you feel about this? Because people are conflicted. They're saying because they paid you today, you want to support a party and ask people to support a party because they have paid you. Is that like a good way of going about things? Is that, what's the word? Are they showing integrity and so on? Yeah.
Personally, I can't speak for the artists themselves because obviously everybody has a different opinion and they have different beliefs. The other day we did have Mark 44 who said if he was offered like, you know, 1 million to do a campaign song, he would do it.
But he
At
said
the-
a campaign song, you
Yeah.
know, because obviously, and he said he has a business. So if they went to him and he did the campaign song,
Yeah.
he would do it and give it to them.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't go out there to just perform the song everywhere and then
Yeah.
say, support UPND,
But
vote for UPND.
it's your song at the end of the day. For you to accept that you're doing a campaign song, it means that in one way or another, your fans will definitely affiliate you to that party.
Yeah.
If you have been very conversant with social media of late, and if you've been seeing what some of these artists are posting, there are a lot of artists that have done songs, you know, and people will come to their page and say, I'm disappointed that you're supporting this party. At the end of the day, when you choose to do a political song, people will always affiliate you to that party.
Yeah.
And we've also seen that there are certain artists that, you know, I'll give an example of Richie Busy, who's done like a song for the UPND, and he's also done a song for the
Align the Tonsil
for the
Alliance.
opposition. You know, people don't take that at the end of the day that even if you do a song, it's about business. You should know the Zambian audience by now and their thoughts. And to think that some of these artists, their followers are youths. So, you know, they don't think alike to say probably he's done a political song and it's just for business. Trust me, there are a lot of nasty comments in this, you know, in some of these posts. But I think at the end of the day, as an artist is an artist. And, you know, most of them don't even think twice. They look at the money, you know. If the opposition is offering me like a huge sum of money and the ruling is offering me like peanuts, I'll definitely go for the opposition.
And it
because
shouldn't
they-
matter what
Yeah.
you believe. You should just
Yeah.
get the money, even if you believe otherwise.
Yeah.
Like you don't believe in the values of that party.
Yeah,
Because
and
they offer you money, you should just get it.
And I think you've noticed, and you did take note of what happened like a few years ago. There were a group of artists that did a song, you know, for a political party, and they were hated from that particular song. People were disappointed. And, you know, people couldn't move past that.
Yeah.
You know, thinking, why did you do a political song for this party? It's because you wanted to be fed and whatnot. So at the end of the day, people carry that and they believe that, you know, you're supporting this particular party. And, you know, that's a very, very smart move by the UPND government.
Yeah, I
because
think
the
so.
artists were a lot.
Yeah, I saw that. There were a lot of artists that went to the party. I think, yeah, you're right. And I think also that as an influencer, you know, that's almost like your job, for example. So you must be very calculative as to what you accept and what not. Because like you said, some never made it past that song that they made because they were now like viewed to say you are supporting, especially if you're supporting something that a lot of people are not, you know, agreeing with. But anyway, like you said, it's their personal choice and they can do whatever they feel like but I also feel like if you are a person that is standing for certain values, money shouldn't be the reason that you choose to support something, you know. People should understand that values are just as important. Yeah, so anyway, I want to ask you what else is on your mind. I know we saw the ballet dance. A
I
lot of
think
people are
that
talking about
has
that.
really, I've been watching a lot of clips and just trying to analyze.
Yeah.
I was just glued to that, you know, over the weekend. So there's nothing really that I came across, but also maybe just highlights from what the president said from
Yeah,
the rally.
sure.
I liked when he said, Balusaka, thank you for coming out in numbers. Mwanchosa konsoni.
Aha, did he say that?
He did.
What did he mean though?
I mean, you know what people have been saying about how the opposition, you know, came out in numbers, and you know, he also did mention that, you know, at some point, he said ECAI, it's real numbers, like people have actually come out in numbers.
Yeah.
So I think he was saying that in comparison to what people were saying on social media about how, you know, they were saying there's no opposition, and you know they were shocked and everything like that. So he made that statement in reference to that. And we also did see the dance that he put up when Yomaps was performing. Sometimes Bali is not serious. You know, sometimes I think that was a light moment.
Yeah.
And those are moments we take away and say, at the end of the day, the president is human. He was excited, you know, that people came in numbers. He was feeling the beat and so on and so forth. And, you know, people want to make a big issue out of it. But we know our president loves to dance, yeah?
Okay. I like that you feel like that about it. You know, a lot of people took to social media and began making memes of the whole dance. But, you know, like you said, I think we should be fair and say it was in the moment, he was feeling the music and everybody was excited. So he did what he could to sort of appease the crowd. And we are thankful also that so far we haven't experienced any kind of violence. Everything has been smooth in terms of the rallies that political parties have had. But we also saw how the Tonse Pamosi Alliance was stopped in Eastern Province when they were trying to make their way to the rally venue, and also in Western Province where the Citizens First were also stopped by the police.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, they complained that they were following the ECZ timetable, but still they faced that kind of opposition from the police. I guess as the week unfolds, we will see what has happened with that. Anyway, so we have a lot in store for you on the program today. We urge you to stay with us and see all that we've planned for you. Right now, we know that you're about to go out, as some of you, you know, you're busy preparing to go out and you just want to know what the weather looks like. So let's have our weather.
Money markets and see how the kwacha is performing against other currencies for the business people, entrepreneurs, and you know, the citizens at large. Obviously, having an interest in knowing how the kwacha is performing this morning is very important. Let's have a look.
those were the money markets. I hope that from that you're able to see. I mean, the kwacha has been performing really well, of late. I think it's almost reached its lowest low since 2021. So that's something interesting. But what does it mean when the kwacha is trading that low to the dollar? Of course, it means that you can now get things cheaper. Like for those that want to import things, this is the time to do it because the dollar rate to the kwacha is quite low. So that means you can import things quite at a cheaper rate than when it's high.
Do you know how I get to see that? It's
Yeah.
because every time I'm checking for electronics, especially TVs, you find that they've become very, very cheap as compared to where we're coming from. So you know that, the kwacha is definitely performing well.
Okay, so there's no day that starts without news. Let's get into the news update today to see what's been going on. So we start with a story that says President Hakainde Hichilema has called on Zambians to vote for the United Party for National Development, UPND, whose agenda is continuity and development across all sectors of the economy, putting the interest of the people first and lowering the cost of living. Speaking during the launch of his presidential campaign in Lusaka, President Hichilema said the UPND acknowledges the challenges Zambians are faced with and that there will be no rest for the party until development is delivered to the Zambian people. The president has also cautioned that there should be no violence in bus stations, adding that those promising lives will take back Zambians the old days of suffering and violence. Speaking at the same launch, President Hakainde Hichilema's presidential running mate, Mulenga Lusambo, urged Zambians to vote for continuity of peace as opposed to violence. Meanwhile, National Democratic Union Party President Akim Anthony Njovu has withdrawn from his presidential race and endorsed President Hakainde Hichilema in the forthcoming general elections. Here's a report.
The United Party for National Development has launched the 2026 presidential campaign ahead of the August 13 general elections in Lusaka. Party officials, alliance partners and supporters joined the mass rally that was held at the Hero Stadium grounds as President Hakainde Hichilema addressed the crowd, calling on all Zambians to ensure that they vote for the United Party for National Development for continued development.
We shall continue working hard. We shall continue working hard to deliver for you, the people of Zambia. We love you so much.
President Hakainde Hichilema's running mate Mulenga Lusambo was also present at the launch. In an interesting turn of events, however, National Democratic Union Party President Akim Njovu endorsed President Hakainde Hichilema in the forthcoming general elections. Aspiring candidates were also among those that were present at the rally.
I want to assure you that the people of Mandevu have decided to go red. They have decided to go President of the Republic of Zambia on the 13th of August 2026.
With less than 2 months left, Zambia is slated to hold the 2026 general elections, with presidential candidates vying for the seat to lead Zambia for the next 5 years. Joanne Savila, Prime TV News, Lusaka.
Now, moving on, National Reconciliation Party for Unity and Peace President Brian Mundubile says his party will prioritize the welfare of Zambians over impressing the international community with economic statistics. Speaking at a mega rally in Katete, Mr. Mdubile accused the UPND government of boasting about having $6.4 billion in foreign reserves, while citizens continue to grapple with poverty. He said once elected into office, his government will focus on improving the living standards of the people before celebrating economic indicators such as inflation rates and foreign reserves. Mr. Mdubile also pledged to implement a debt swap program for government workers to ease their loan burdens. We have details in this report.
Central Province Education Officer Mambe Hamududu has challenged educators not only to focus on the academics of children, but also on character formation. Mrs. Hamududu says character forming is key in raising children who become responsible in society. She said this when she graced the grand finale Bible quiz for the adventurers of the Seventh-day Adventist Church held at Kawe Central SDA Church. Joseph Siambihi has the report.
It was a grand finale Bible quiz of the Adventurers, a youth club in the Seventh-day Adventist Church at Kawe Central SDA Church. Between 4 and 9 years from different mission districts came to participate.
We're Midlands East Zambia Conference, where we are doing the final round of the quiz, which started in the churches, went in the district, regions. Now we are finalizing it here at Kawe Central Church as a conference.
And the importance of this event is to awaken the spirit of Christianity in relation to reading the Bible.
Provincial Education Officer Mambe Hamududu graced the event. She noted the importance of introducing the Word of God to children at a tender age.
As an educationist, I strongly believe that learning should not only focus on academic excellency, but also on character formation. The Adventurers Bible Quiz complements formal education by helping children develop discipline.
Joseph Siambehi reporting, Prime TV News in Kawe.
Yes. A man is battling for his life at Chama District Hospital after suffering severe burns in a fire incident at Kabanana Village in Chama District. The victim, identified as 25 to 30-year-old Zayelo Bota of Katangalika Village in Chief Kambombo's area, sustained burns over his entire body after a grass fence caught fire while he was asleep. Eastern Province Police Commanding Officer Robertson Mwemba says the incident happened on Saturday during agriculture show celebrations in the area. Mr. Mwemba says Bota had allegedly become intoxicated and fell asleep in a makeshift shelter that had been operating as a restaurant. He says an unknown person allegedly set the grass fence on fire, causing the flames to spread rapidly and engulf the shelter. Due to his drunken state, the victim was unable to wake up and escape in time. Mr. Mwemba says members of the public managed to pull Bota from the shelter. Sorry, lost my lines. The victim was unable to wake up and escape in time. Mr. Mwemba says members of the public managed to pull Bota from the burning structure before alerting Chama Police Station. He says police officers who responded to the scene found the victim lying unconscious, face down with severe burns. Mr. Mwemba says Bota was rushed to Chama District Hospital, where he remains admitted in critical condition as investigations into the case of the fire continues. Details in this report.
A man from Chama District is in critical condition after suffering severe burns when a grass fence caught fire at the agriculture and commercial showgrounds in Kabanana Village. The victim has been identified as Zairo Bota, Eastern Province Police Commanding Officer Robertson Mwemba said Botha was sleeping in a makeshift shelter that had been used as a restaurant at the show. He said he was in a drunken state and failed to wake up when the fire broke out. Mr. Mwemba said that members of the public who were still at the showgrounds around 22:30 hours removed him from the fire. He said Botha sustained severe burns across his entire body and was rushed to Chama District Hospital, where he is currently admitted in critical condition. And in a related story, police in Chama have arrested a 21-year-old Elijah Kumwenda for allegedly setting fire to his stepfather's grass-thatched house, destroying property worth over 7,500 kwacha. Mr. Mwemba said that the incident happened yesterday. He said the suspect allegedly woke up, smoked an unknown type of cigarette, and began sharpening a machete while uttering threats to kill his mother for marrying her current husband. Mr. Mwemba said both parents fled the house to seek help and alerted neighbors. He said as they moved away, they saw Kumwenda setting the house on fire. Community members apprehended the suspect and handed him over to the police. Christopher Basilio Banda, Prime TV News in Chipata, Eastern Province.
A subsistence farmer in Mansa district has appealed to government to urgently announce the crop marketing price for 2025-2026 farming season, saying the delay is leaving farmers vulnerable to exploitation. Speaking in an interview, Elizabeth Mwansa said the delayed announcement of the crop marketing price has created uncertainty among farmers, with many being forced to sell their produce to briefcase buyers at unfair prices. Ms. Mwansa noted that the situation is making it difficult for farmers to make informed decisions and adequately prepare for the next farming season. She has since appealed to fellow farmers to remain patient and avoid rushing to sell their produce at low prices that do not reflect its value. Meanwhile, Ms. Mwansa has encouraged young people, particularly in Wapula province, to take advantage of the region's favorable rainfall and fertile land by venturing into agriculture, describing farming as a viable source of income and economic empowerment.
All right, those are the stories that are making headlines today. We hope to keep updating you on what happens throughout the day and throughout the week. This is the Sunrise Breakfast Show, and we're glad that you've joined us. We take a short break, and we'll be right back with more. Welcome back. You are on the Sunrise Breakfast Show. It's good to know that you're with us today. Remember, you can watch us from our Facebook page, that is PTV2 Zambia, and you can also get us on TopStar 110, channel 110, and also Azam TV channel 493. So far, so good. We hope that you are staying with us all the way until the end of the show. So right now, we take a look at what the papers say. Rhoda, what's interesting in the papers today? There's always something happening. They say that there's no day with no news.
Right, so we've got some interesting headlines in the papers. We'll start with the Mass newspaper.
Yeah.
There's a headline that says UPND days over. That's why it's resorting to violence, Membe says. There's also another headline here in green that says Temi Okada's Chief Sandwe urges parties. And last but not the least, in red, it says ward official goes into hiding after backing independent.
Okay, what happened to the ward official? It says United Party for National Development, UPND Lusambo ward coordinator has gone into hiding, citing fear for his life after allegedly receiving veiled threats from the ruling party's Kawa Central. Anyway, wow. I think that people should be free to support who they want, and they shouldn't fear for their lives, or they shouldn't feel like they'll be violated against, because everyone has got their free will. I know that it's probably hurt the UPND that a lot of people moved away and became, started vying for seats as independent candidates. So, and I think we just urge all those that feel unsafe to just, try and keep themselves safe, because what can they do in this instance? They've gone against the party and they know people are upset about their move. So they should just try and keep safe, and also try and report to the police if you feel like you're being harassed, and hope that will help. So Temi Okada's Chief Sandwe urges parties. Chief Sandwe of Lusangazi district in Eastern Province has warned political parties to tame their candidates ahead of the August 13 general elections. Of course, everyone, like we all don't want violence. We want the cadres to know that we have been advocating for politics that are supposed to be politics of ideas and not politics of violence. So the chief must be concerned in his area for the people, for his people in his area, and just wants cadres to make sure that they adhering to the law and campaigning peacefully. Rhoda, what has gotten your attention today on the papers?
On the Daily Nation here, where it says
besides, sorry, before we go, there's a story here that was cited from one of our programs, that is Matters Arising, where Dr. Fred Membe was saying that the UPND days are over. That's why they are resorting to violence. So he was speaking on one of our shows on Saturday evening. Do you think that there's still violence, though?
Well, I don't think so. And maybe to say UPND is resorting to violence, I really don't know about that statement. But we have seen individuals that are being violent, but specifically not to say UPND. Probably these are just, different cadres from different parties that are still, inciting violence. But we really have not seen, even from yesterday's rally, I don't think there were any reports of violence that I came across.
Yeah, I think the only opposition that we're getting is from the police, that stopping, those parties that want to campaign in certain areas. Otherwise, so far, so good. There hasn't been any reports of violence. And to say that their days are over, we are yet to see. We always say this, that of course it's parties, politics, and presidents trying to put each other down to gain mileage. But of course, we will only tell that apartheid's days are over after the elections and the votes are cast and the announcement of the winner is made. Okay, so we can move on to something else. And you said the Daily Nation?
Yeah, in the Daily Nation, we see a headline in purple that says "Wind of Change Real," says Makebi, as he and Brian Mundubile are blocked from entering Chama from Lundazi by the Zambia police, advises the UPND to begin to prepare for smooth transition.
Okay, that's being optimistic. We don't mind that. But also, I think the problem is when the police are trying to stop, parties and blocking them. I just ask myself, why would they do that? Because these people already have an agreed plan. And they know the police, there's nothing that happens in a town, for example, without the police knowing. The police always have information on which party is campaigning where, and everyone is sticking so far to what was prescribed by the ECZ. So I don't understand when they go out there and block people from entering a town. That is violence in itself. Because, of course, if you do that, and people know they have the right to go where they are going, people are waiting for them to do a rally, then you stand in their way, they are going to retaliate. They are going to oppose you as well. And I think if you watch the clip where they were being stopped, you notice that people started getting agitated and tempers started rising just there, and there was a bit of exchange of words. So I think the police should come out and tell us why they feel the need to stop these people, even with no kind of aggression against anyone. Yeah. I think this is a very sensitive time when police should try and also refrain from using any kind of force on anyone who does not deserve it. I think they should just really watch what they are doing, because people are seeing, and it may work against them if they continue to do this.
I mean, everybody who's been in the ruling obviously has been in opposition before, and the president is the best person to, even issue a directive to the police to refrain from, stopping people unnecessarily, because he's been in that position before. So many times where he was supposed to be campaigning somewhere and then he was stopped. And so he is the best person he was in that particular position to, maybe just advise the police on certain things, especially in this time of campaign, but also for, Makebi to say that the UPND should begin to prepare for smooth transition is a bit too early. Maybe they need to wait for people to go to the polls and start voting. Maybe from seeing the numbers you would definitely judge. But like you said, that's being optimistic, but we shouldn't, rush to conclude.
Okay. So then we have a thank you, Zambians from HH, says as he outlines his vision of how best to govern the country in the next 5 years, should his mandate to govern the country be renewed in the August general election. I think that's a good way of talking. He says, should his mandate be extended? I feel like each person should know, each of the candidates that are contesting should know that the results of the election could go in their favor or not. And so even as we are being optimistic, we should always try and bring out that aspect that we understand that these elections could either go in our favor or not. That would be encouraging, so that people can know that people will easily accept whatever results they get. Because we don't want a situation where people begin to contest, because they were so sure that they could win. Even sometimes, like, you would be so sure and then it doesn't go in your favor because people decide to vote for someone else. So I think we should also just be aware that things can go in our favor and things cannot. And we're happy to hear the president make that statement and say he will be thankful He's thankful for the people and their support for him, but also he realizes that he can be voted back in and cannot be voted back in. And that's the spirit we want to see. But also in the Daily Nation, again, there is still Savoy who is complaining, because I saw she was in Western Province also when they tried to stop Kalaba from campaigning. We want to see the police be a little more sensitive as well. So we may follow up that topic to find out why it is like that, why the police is stopping people even though they have the right to campaign in those areas.
Yeah, all right. So we move on to the Times of Zambia, where we have a headline that says Lusaka goes agog. The National Heroes Stadium in Lusaka, where President Hakainde Hichilema was, I beg your pardon, where President Hakainde Hichilema made his comeback bid, was literally bursting as this comes as thousands upon thousands of party zealots, sympathizers, and onlookers jam-packed the scene in what is seen as one of the most highly attended United Party for National Development rallies ever. This is the headline that we see in the Times of Zambia.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we did see the crowd, everybody saw, and they were saying for other, opposition parties when they hold a rally that it was AI. So we're also wondering whether that was AI. But no, I mean, it was live and we were able to see the crowd. It was great to see the numbers that had gone out to support the ruling party. But one other thing I need to also highlight is I want to understand, because on some of the platforms where you would watch the rally, there would be, like a banner that would say State House. So what was going on was State House responsible for that rally? Because what we understand is when you are doing a rally and it's time for rallies, you're not supposed to use any state equipment, any state anything. So there shouldn't be state anywhere. Even the cars that you use for transportation. What was State House's involvement in that rally? We understand that our president is the head of state, but they say that to make the playing field leveled, you are not supposed to involve the state in any way. As a party, even though you're a ruling party, you must use your own party resources to campaign. Otherwise, you have more advantage over everybody else. So we hope that they will mind that they don't make state appear anywhere, because that will be against what the is it the Constitution or the stipulations of the ECZ. So anyway, I don't know if you still want to add anything to that story.
No, I think there's another one here that says reject violence. VIP ages young people. I think it was very timely, that this message was sent, especially that the crowd was full of young people, the youth that just came to listen to what the president had to say, and the vice president as well. Because for many years, I think the young people are the ones that have been used as tools of violence. And so it was timely, and it was, just a perfect platform to send this message across.
And we could see there were lots of young people there, that took part in the rally. Indeed, I think the message is getting across, because so far we have had peaceful rallies and campaigns, and we so hope that it continues and it stays the same. So HH sets pace for August elections. That's another headline. And DU leader pulls out of race and backs HH. I think we saw in our news clip what has happened.
Economy strong, resilient in election season. I don't know what else is written down here because I can't see properly.
Yeah.
But that's just the headline that's there.
Yeah, the words are too small to read. So yeah, that's a story you can follow up in the Times. And the Daily Revelation says police evicted me like a criminal, Calabar. think is complaining about how they stopped them from progressing to the rally venue.
Yeah, he says besides detaining me in Senanga, they also evicted me from the lodge and Mungu at 20:45 hours.
Police presence anywhere raises people's emotions, and because there's fear there. What have I done? And also, I think it's just not safe. I know the police are there to keep order, but why can't they just talk? They can send a police officer to call him or summon him, and because all this, they are in, maybe sometimes even in riot gear, and they go up to the parties to it's some sort of harassment, I feel, for me. These are political leaders that are trying to campaign, just trying to send a message to their voters. So I don't understand why there's this act by the police. I really, really want to understand, because it doesn't really send a good message out there, Otherwise, they'll feel like people are being brutalized. So I think police should really take care of this. We don't want to see police anyhow, anywhere. And like you said, our president was once in opposition. I think if this kind of thing would happen so often, I think it would have discouraged them, so much from even going on their race. So can they tell us why they have to be at every point to stop these people from campaigning? Anyway, yeah, that's one story. So Mundubile Makebi wants to come back to eat national reserves. That's what the president said yesterday at the rally.
I think obviously this comment comes after a comment was passed by Mr. Mundubile saying, you're boasting about the money that you have in the reserves, but the economy is bad. People are complaining that there's hunger in the country. Why not use that same money that's in the reserves? So probably this comment comes after what Mr. Mundubile had mentioned earlier on. A lot of people did comment and give their opinion on this. It was a very capitalized statement, and we have been seeing it flying on social media where people are saying, you're supporting the opposition, but when the opposition comes into power, it's very scary that they're talking about the reserves, which are meant to, help people of Zambia in a situation where the country is not doing too well. So probably they'll just come in and mishandle some of his fans.
Yeah, I think there's been too much discussion on national reserves. I think that, when you are in government, you have to sort of somehow be responsible. So I feel like it's just a topic that has been blown too much out of proportion. So, but, as you campaign, you also have to make sure that you pay attention to the things that you say, because everyone is listening. And if you are saying things without proper, backing, or things that are absurd or out of context, people will catch it and they'll capitalize on that to try and bring you down. But I think that in some of the clips you saw how Honorable Mundubile sort of exculpated himself, where he said, I was just saying that I wouldn't keep all that money in a bank or in a reserve when people are suffering. I think that as much as it is necessary to keep all that money in the reserve, we could use part of it to try and solve some of the issues that we're having. I think it's also based on the backdrop that, we faced a huge power shortage for a long time, and we were keeping that money in the reserve. So I think it makes sense for us to try and reason and say, why can we use part of that money to get ourselves out of the problems? Because if they talk about external pressure, what is more important? Because external pressure, of course you're anticipating it will happen, but there are times when nothing happens and that money is just there. So you can keep a reasonable amount and just make sure that whenever, if you had to face something, you still have a little money to fall back on. So So yeah, we can move on to Diggers news. The first headline is ZULAAWU. We fixed their debt, now they want to come and eat reserves. It's reserve story again. And then it says culture appreciation has affected meal exports. And then it says, there's another headline that says UPND enticing our candidates to withdraw, claims Tonse.
Enticing them with what, money?
Of course, I think people only make such huge decisions based on money. Or sometimes intimidation, you know.
I mean, it's their choice. If they can be bought, then...
Yeah, that, you know, and I think that is one thing, even as we were opening, you know, when we were talking about influencers, I think that was my point, to say, why is it so easy for people to fall for money and abandon their values? I think it's something that people should look at. A society that is like that is worrying that money should be a motive for you to abandon what you are believing in. And that's why, for me, I feel like trusting these parties that just drop you paid the amount to stand as a president and you just withdraw. And what about your people who believed in you? You just take them to the other side and say, oh, today we have joined another party. I think that those are things that should tell us something about some of these presidents that are standing and abandoning their party to join other parties, even at this stage, when people have entrusted them with their, you know, they've trusted them to say these are the people to lead us to greater heights, and then they just drop them and join another party because they paid you. We should question some of these parties and what they really stand for.
And I think what most people should know is that a lot of politicians, or let me just say, it's just a few politicians that will stand their ground. You know, especially some of these aspiring members of parliament. It's just a few that will stand on their ground because they are genuinely concerned about leadership. They genuinely want to lead. But most of them that we've probably seen, it's not even about leadership or wanting to make, you know, their constituency, their community better. It's about themselves. So this is the reason why a lot of people are easily swept by money, because they probably want to get in that position for their own benefit. And this is why we see people moving from one party to another. And I think where we're coming from over the years, we've seen some of these advocates, you know, political advocates, who sit on the screen on an interview. They're speaking against the ruling, saying they holding them accountable to what they haven't done. And once maybe they're spoken to in the background or given something, they suddenly switch or stop appearing on certain programs. And that's what people should know, that a lot of them, it's not really about leadership, but it's about their selfish reasons.
And I think that's why, as people, we need to be careful and be able to tell, to really scrutinize these leaders and see who is in it for the right purpose and the right reason, because that is important. We need to be people that stick to their values, and it shouldn't be easy for us to just drop a party and say we're joining you. I mean, all this while you've been criticizing, then today what is it that you found that is that is beneficial to you? So yeah, I think that's one thing that we should talk about. I think we've made a point on this reserve issue that is still coming up in Diggers. And I think we've covered most of the topics and the headlines that are appearing in our papers, unless there's something that we missed out.
So those are some of the newspaper headlines that we had for you today on a Monday like this one. But let's get to take a breather and see what we have today in history.
Welcome back to the Sunrise Breakfast Show. Money management, debt structures, and national reserves are topics that affect every single Zambian household, directly or indirectly. Today, joining me on the set is Mr. Shadreck Lusambo, who is a financial analyst. Welcome to the show. It's great to see you this Monday morning.
Thank you so much, Cathy. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Indeed.
So we just want to know before we start, there's so much struggling, with civil servants in Zambia today with debt,
Yes.
despite having stable, guaranteed monthly salaries. Why do you think this is so?
Well, to begin with, the civil servants may be struggling with debt not because of misuse of money or carelessness of money.
Yeah.
I think there's a mixture of both the cost of living, but also the social pressure that people might be going through. So if you look at the civil servants issue, despite having a stable salary, they also have a lot of responsibilities in our setup. One civil servant usually is equal to about 4 or 5 dependents. So while the salary might look to be stable on paper, but in reality it's not as stable as it appears to be. So that economic pressure might also contribute to this issue that we're having. So if we measure how well the civil servants are doing regards debt, I think we have to look at in terms of what responsibilities do they have against a salary that they currently have. I think most of them is just a salary issue. The cost of living might be increasing faster than the salary is increasing. So that also creates an imbalance in terms of how they manage. But then for some, it's just sheer lack of goodwill. Yes, all those might apply.
Okay.
Yes.
So why do you think that they are an easy target for, loans by banks or even microfinancing institutions?
Well, Catherine, if you think about it, civil servants have got 3 things that lenders like. Number 1, they've got predictability. For a bank to give you money or for a microfinance to give you money, they need to know, first of all, to have the money. Well, the number 1 thing that financiers, lenders, banks look out for is cash flow. So they want a stable cash flow. Collateral is secondary. So the civil servants have got a predictable cash flow that comes in every month. They give them out. So it is easy to deduct money without chasing people around. So they love that. But also, number 3 is that they've got employment. So employment, predictability, and the payroll, they make it more attractive for the lenders to go to civil servants because they find it easy to collect money. If you have to do ABCD, it's difficult to get a loan. But for civil servants, those 3 easily qualify them.
Okay, so when they are borrowing, is there a chance that the lender may want to see how much debt they have or who else they've borrowed from? Is this information that is easy for a lender to find? Because we see that a lot of them may be struggling and, also many other places, but they can go to this bank or to this lending institution and they still get a loan. So do the lenders have a privilege to see if a person going to borrow has borrowed elsewhere?
Yes, I think they do, and this is why the Bank of Zambia is not happy with the way lenders are behaving in this country. The Bank of Zambia, through credit bureaus, they've put in place rules and policies that govern how financiers, lenders, microfins, banks conduct themselves. So what we've observed in the recent past is that lenders would know that somebody has got a loan somewhere, but still they'll go ahead and give that person a loan simply because they know they can deduct money from their payroll. And that's what the problem is. So this is why we're saying, if we are going to be successful regards this issue, I think we should reinforce the rules where we punish both the borrower and the lender. So in my honest opinion, and I'm not happy to say this, because I feel like there's a lot of dishonesty on the part of the lenders, but also on the part of the borrowers. Both are dishonest. I had a situation where Catherine, a civil servant once told me that they had gone to get a loan, and they agreed with a microfin or whoever was lending them money that, what, I've got this loan, but I don't want it to show on my payslip, but you can subtract from my payroll. So that was weird to me. I don't know if that is still happening, where somebody gets a loan, and so if they bring a payslip to you,
yes,
there's a loan which is there, but it's not appearing on the document. but they are subtracting money from that person's salary. So there's that part of dishonesty. I think that's where the Bank of Zambia is going to come in, the way they sounded the alarm and saying, what, we are going to punish both the borrower and the lender for dishonesty. That will be able to curb this. If we can reinforce transparency rules, I think it will help a lot. Because right now, the credit bureaus are there to provide information people are borrowing money.
Yeah.
When you borrow money, you use your NRC. These things are linked to the credit bureaus. So lenders can access that information.
Yeah.
But just how readily available that information is, I cannot ascertain, but we have those rules in place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now, what do you think the reforms that need to be made to help that the lenders, to make borrowing and lending more sustainable?
If we are going to make borrowing and lending, I think we have to look at it from the point of view of the household level. The issue that we have right now is that with the payslip debt that we are currently looking at, a lot of microfinance, lenders, they don't really look at what will be the life of the person after the debt. For them, it's more of recovery. How much money can you recover from these people? And then they give them out. So I feel like a better reform would be, before somebody gets a loan, we say, okay, fine, if we give this person a loan, how much is already committed on their salary right now? So that you can look at the payslip, how much is committed. And number two, looking at their economic issue, because each one's got their own economy. There's the cost of living as a nation, but also the cost of living as a person. So I think we should be able to look at what is this person's cost of living? What are their responsibilities? That by the time they are getting a loan, they don't remain crippled or depending on loans to keep surviving. Because if you don't look at someone's cost of living as a person, loans become more of a tool for survival. So then they begin to borrow now to sustain, just to survive.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure as we give out loans, perhaps we reinforce the rules regards transparency, but also whoever gets the loan should be properly assessed to see whether or not they can afford the loan. Right now, the issue we have is that if you have a payslip, it matters not whether or not you are broke, whether or not you have children who are going to school, whether or not you've not paid your landlord. The lender will give you the money. Because they've got a recovery mode. Payroll system, they'll subtract. So if we can start punishing those lenders who are giving to people who have more money than they are supposed to have on their payslip deducting, but also the borrowers themselves should be punished for being dishonest as well. That will help a lot.
How do you think the borrowers can be punished?
Well, if you look at countries such as the US, China, even our friends here in Tanzania, the credit scores are readily available for everyone. If you just type in someone's social security number, their score comes up. So you're able to say, okay, this one has got this, has got this, has got this. So if you are dishonest, you are flagged. You won't be able to borrow money anywhere else because of dishonesty. So that record should be made public. So whenever you go anywhere, they simply ask for a social security number, say, give us your analyst social security number. You give them, and then the internet system, it shows, okay, this one has been flagged for dishonesty, for borrowing more than they are supposed to. That way, it helps people to stop, borrowing dishonestly, because now they know if they discover me, I'll be flagged, and once I'm flagged, I can't borrow anywhere else. So to make people pay the debt that they actually have before borrowing more debt. Then on the part of the lenders also, they should be flagged in such a way that if they give out loans, for example, in Zambia, we have an allowed debt service ratio of about 40% of your basic pay. We don't want to surpass that. So if a lender knows this person already owes money from so-and-so institution, and they go ahead and give them that loan, they should be punished. Perhaps their license should be revoked, seized, fines, some type of penalties. That way, both the lender and the borrower will be scared to do things that they're not supposed to be doing. Because right now, what we have, Cathy, and sadly, that we have very fantastic laws in place. I think the Bank of Zambia does an amazing job in creating awareness, sensitization. But the issue that we have is enforcement of those laws. A law is only good if it is enforced and understood. And that's why we feel financial education also should be part of the civil servants awareness program, where all of them understand financial education, financial literacy. What I find sad is that when we do debt sessions with these colleagues from the civil service, and just to say it in a good way, most of them don't even know the interest they are paying. And that's the number one thing you need to understand. What is the interest? What is the cost of my loan? They don't know. Until you say, you know what, there's this. Oh, I didn't know, but you have the loan contract. They didn't read the loan contract. So people argue and say, no, these people are not serious because banks and microfinance and lenders give them loan contracts. But our reading culture is bad.
Yeah.
People don't read.
Yeah.
So if we can, the debt cycle we are seeing them go into.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes you're just excited about getting this lump sum of money and you're ignoring the fact that you have to pay interest on it. So you just grab it and go.
Yes.
Yeah, that's sad. But anyway, what about government? Should it intervene in this debt issue?
Yes, I think government should intervene, but they should do it very, very carefully. What I wouldn't recommend is what people are talking about, debt swap. I think that's not right. First of all, we don't want to use taxpayers' money to fund people's personal decisions in their homes. I think that's not right. So if government is going to intervene, it should be at the level of oversight to ensure that the lenders, the microfinance, and perhaps the banks, they also play by the book. That is a very good level, whereby they can also just, government proposes that financial literacy education becomes part, like I said earlier, part of the civil servants' wellness mandatory programs, where every civil servant has got to go through these financial literacy wellness programs. That will help a lot. But also, I think government should come up with the stiffer rules regards, how easy it is to access the payroll. I feel like it is easy for microfinance, for lenders to access the payroll system. And that easy access to payroll system makes it difficult to regulate the lenders. Because all you have to do if you're a civil servant, just get your payslip and hand over to the next guy who gives loans, and that's it. So there's so much easy access. If they can restrict access to the payroll, it will help a lot. Because now both lenders, microfinance, borrowers now will know there's no easy access to the payroll system. It will protect both the civil servants, their families, but also just their mental well-being. When you are in debt, it affects your self-esteem. It affects your mental health. So people are resigning from work unnecessarily, running off from work, committing suicide because of, sometimes even just small debt as 10,000, somebody commits suicide. Why? Lack of financial literacy.
Yeah.
So if we can have those reinforced, I believe we can help a lot of people in this country.
Okay. So on the part of, there, like you said, some political parties are advocating for a debt swap, but how do you think they should be discussing these issues, or should they be politicizing the debt issues, especially for civil servants?
You see, politicians always be politicians. That's the thing. They always find a way. They think that the debt issue is attractive to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And now we're in an election,
Yes.
So it's not surprising that politicians will begin to talk about debt swap, no, forgive. So they are going to make promises that don't make economic sense. So advocating for debt swap, I think, is very responsible. But because, number one, it's a promise that lacks economic value, economic substance. Some of the people who are in debt is because of just greedy, carelessness. They got money. We've seen a lot of people go and get a loan. Before they get home, they pass to some Bwalya bet company, and then they use that money for betting. Then for some, just because they want to buy an iPhone.
Yeah.
Some of them just wanting to buy a small Vitz somewhere, not to mean that a Vitz is not a good car, but just, people just get a loan because their neighbors got a new car. They also want to have a car. And now before they know they have an accident, that car is not insured, they lose the money. Now they are in more debt. So some people who are in debt is because of greedy, selfishness, financial indiscipline, lack of financial foresight. So that's why they are in debt.
Yeah.
And then for some, it is simply purely because of responsibilities for their family, children, and the other personal responsibilities. So yes, while we may want to help the civil servants and those who are in debt, we don't want to do debt swap. Debt swap is catastrophic, it's irresponsible, and it will encourage people to borrow more because now they know once we are in debt, our government will come in and they'll swap the debt. I think that's not a responsible thing to do.
Yeah.
Even as we campaign, we don't want to make consequences to their decisions. If you are going to borrow without a plan of paying back, you should know their consequences. So yes, we can support them by giving them education, information on how they can negotiate for their debts, how they can structure their debts, and encourage them to avoid refinancing the loans.
Yeah.
Catherine, what is interesting is this, and I think many civil servants need to know this. When you are owing, especially for microfinance, and microfinance, when they see that you are defaulting on the loan, you stop paying. Usually you're supposed to write off the debt. So how do they make sure the debt comes back to life? They call you, say, hey, Catherine, are you there? We've seen you're struggling. We'd like to top you up. So you, in your mind, you're saying, oh my goodness, they're good people. They want to help me out. No. They're trying to revamp the debt to come back to life. So you can begin to pay perhaps even additional interest. So every time you refinance a loan, a lot of things happen. Sometimes you reset the interest rate you've been paying on that loan. So without you realizing, you are paying 29, now you are paying 32. You don't even know it. And then sometimes you also reset the new terms of the contract, because now the old debt becomes part of the new debt in most cases. So now you are operating on new conditions. So before you know it, 7 years down the line, you're still paying the same loan. Because you did not know those top-ups we've been doing have been resetting your debt, have been resetting the terms, and now you're paying higher than you should be able to pay. So these are some of the things our colleagues need to know. Don't just go and refinance a loan unless it is going to help reduce the current pressure on the current loan. But in most cases, these microfins, they'll simply go to come and top up, and then you reset the terms without you knowing about it.
Yeah, okay.
So those are some of the things that our people should be able to understand, so that they don't just rush to go and get the money. But no, if I'm going to refinance, what will be the effect on my current loan? Will this top up increase my cost? Is it going to reduce my cost? What are the new terms? Am I resetting the old terms to new terms, or what is going to happen? So that you are fully aware before you go and get a refinance.
Okay.
Yes.
So now I want to know, is there anything that you would advocate someone getting a loan for? I know you said that people get loans for different things, but when is it necessary to actually think of getting a loan?
Okay, so for even with CEC, we said, could you please people engage us so that before you give these people loans, we take them through some type of financial education for business purposes. So that by the time you're giving them loans, they know where to take the money. So if somebody is going to get a loan, the only time I recommend you get a loan, number one, is if that loan is going to fundamentally improve your financial situation. What we are seeing now is somebody gets a loan, they go and pay school fees. They're not improving their economic situation. So loans should be given where somebody's got imminent demand. And this demand cannot wait for you, because if you wait, a competitor will move in and take up an opportunity. So instead of borrowing for personal use, borrow for an imminent business opportunity that is going to give you more money than the money you're going to pay on that loan. Now that makes a lot of financial sense and economic sense, because you're not borrowing for consumption or for financing a personal problem. You're borrowing to utilize an imminent opportunity in the economic environment. You're selling, for example, you're selling these nice bottles. You say now you need to sell 20 of these, but don't have money. You come and get a loan, you buy 20, you sell, you pay back the loan, you have some profit yourself. I think that's the better way to use debt. Our people love debt because it's an easy way out if you have a personal problem. And that's why I feel Bank of Zambia should be able to become more strict when it comes to giving loans. Encourage more of business loans that have got imminent demand, instead of just people getting personal loans. Personal loans are a disaster. Business loans, good. Tanzania is doing better than us. Why? Because they prioritize business loans over personal loans. In Zambia, it's opposite. You go to the bank today or the microfinance, Catherine, to get a business loan, you'll be frustrated. There are just too many rules and necessary protocols. But for a personal loan, give us your payslip, 10 minutes, you are done. Nobody cares what you're going to do with the money.
Yeah.
But if you give somebody a business loan, who is going to bring more economic value? SMEs were creating jobs, we are paying taxes.
Yeah.
We should be the one getting more loans than personal loans. But in this country, it's the opposite.
Yeah.
So I feel if we can change that culture of giving loans, we focus more on business loans than personal loans, it will help a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So there's, we work from talking about personal debt
Yes.
to now national debt.
Yes.
We've seen so much of talk about national reserves, and
Yes.
it's sparked a lot of discussions
Yes.
and arguments. So what is your take on this? What do you feel about this issue of national reserves?
And again, it's just politicians being politicians. Politicians love to play on the ignorance of people who don't understand simple economic concepts. For example, foreign currency reserves. What a foreign currency reserve at a household level, it simply means when you get paid, Catherine, you're going to say, you know what, I think I've got children in this house, or if I don't have children, I might be sick one day. So I'm going to put aside a 2,000 kwacha in case I'm sick, I need to buy some drugs for myself. That's the primary meaning of a foreign currency reserve. It is simply an emergency fund put aside by the government to cushion them in events of shocks, for example. If we have a global crisis, we don't want to be, found wanting as a government. What we want is to say, guys, we have a global crisis, the dollar is misbehaving, there's war in Ukraine, can we use this money to import fuel elsewhere? That's it. It is not rocket science. But for whatever reasons, it appears that our politicians understand that many of our people don't understand financial literacy, so they begin to say, no, we're going to do this with reserves. No, reserves are necessary, whether at a household level or at a government level. If you look at the current reserve that we have, as per IMF statement of $6.5 billion, it covers about 4.4 months of imports, which means we can continue importing and transacting externally for the next 4 months as a country, which is a very good thing in case you have an economic shock. So yes, issues of reserve, just a matter of financial education. So we are saying, can we reinforce financial education, both at the household level, civil servant level, even in schools, to become part of the school curriculum? This will help a lot. So that when politicians begin to make promises, our citizens will say, hey, can we ask better questions? What is the economic substance of your promise? What does this mean for an ordinary Zambian? How does this affect production, innovation, creativity, job creation? That's when now our people ask better questions. But right now say reserve. What's the reserve on Nichani? A reserve. Lokamba reserve and it's trending. Reserve. Yeah. Nobody knows what reserve is.
Yeah.
so
it's crazy.
It's very crazy.
Anyway, if we talk about debt management at a personal level, in a few words, and even at national level, what are some of the things that can help? Because I think debt that is not properly managed robs us of the resources that are supposed to go maybe towards development. So as Catherine, how should I manage my debt so that I can be able to progress and debt shouldn't keep me in the same place? And as a nation, how can we make sure that we don't overgrow our debts, but we find means within our own country to develop?
See, I like the way you're asking these questions, Catherine. Very good question.
Maybe I should become...
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
You see, I think at a personal level, and my honest opinion is that people should learn to love themselves in this country.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't love themselves. That is why they find themselves borrowing money necessarily. I believe the number one thing that can help somebody at the personal level is simply to change your behavior and become more acceptance of your current situation. A lot of people in this country don't know that they are poor. They don't know they are poor. That's why they behave the way they behave. Because if you know you are poor, you're going to be aware of what happens if you misuse the money. A lot of people will get debt and then they go to drink. Or maybe they just take a sleep in Dubai. Then they come back. So at a personal level, we need people to be honest and say, you know what behaviors are triggering me to want to borrow money every now and then? So change of behavior is the number one way anybody can be able to avoid unnecessary debt. Just do a personal audit. Where do my money go? Where do my money go? Where am I spending my kwacha when I get paid, when I have the money? And you begin to change behavior that make you spend money that you need. When the Bible says this, the borrower is a slave to the lender, God was serious. He was not joking. It is why when people are in debt, they lose their mind. Some of them commit suicide. It's because you become some type of a slave. So at a personal level, honesty is important. Accept that it's okay to lack something today for the betterment of tomorrow. Not every trending iPhone, every trending car, every trending social you should have. Sometimes it's okay to lack something. There's nothing wrong with that. So accepting a situation helps you to avoid the unnecessary debt. Living within your means. I think that's fantastic. At the national level, I think we have to borrow for production. I hear people say, no, when I borrow money, campaign promises, we don't want such promises. What we want is to be able to see the government, they're going to borrow money. It is for the betterment of the Zambian people. Not to sort out a short-term problem now because we are campaigning and then we come and suffer in the long run. We don't want that. So what we want is when government engages in debt, it is calculated debt, which is going to help the Zambian people escape the current economic dilemma we are into. That's how we should be able to look at debt. So debt, and I like what the Zambian government has done in terms of making laws to ensure debt goes through parliament. I think that will help a lot because now we have opposing views discussing, following the process, lawmakers involved, it will help. In the past, a government just wake up and say we are going to borrow money, then they borrow money. Now there's that restriction there, so it will help a lot. So if we are going to manage debt, both government level, personal level, can we borrow for economic improvement, not for consumption?
That's great.
Indeed.
Mr. Lusambo, thank you so much for coming and sharing those views and insights. Really eye-opening.
Thank you so much, Catherine. It was nice being here, and you asked very good questions.
Thank you. Well, that was Mr. Shadreck Lusambo, a financial analyst, telling us about debt and how we can be better managers of the debt that we incur. I think that one thing that has stuck out is that we should not borrow for personal consumption, but think of investing whatever money we get into something that can bring more profit that will help us and enable us to pay back the loan in due time. So stick with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Catherine, thank you so much.
That was it.
We are ready to give people in-depth analysis in terms of the elections.
Hello, as marketing department, we are ready for 2026 general elections.
As the programming team, we are ready for the 2026 general elections.
And in this coming election, as a newsroom, we promise to be objective, to be impartial, and to give you information with unbiased coverage. So follow Prime TV during this election period.
The transport and logistics is ready.
We, the reporters from across the country, are ready to deliver authentic, verified, and balanced election stories as they happen.
The 2026 general elections are here. We are ready.
As Zambia counts down to the 13th August general elections, PTV2 Zambia is your trusted source for every major update, every key development, and every decisive move.
Campaigns are underway, promises are being made, and the battle for votes has officially begun.
During this election season, we will break down the 2026 general elections, comparing today's political landscape with 2021 and previous elections.
We'll analyze campaign promises, scrutinize manifestos, and we bring you in-depth coverage in 7 major local languages. Most importantly, we'll give the people the voice.
In 2026, like we are 1994.
Because this election is all about the Zambian citizen. And when the votes begin to count, we'll be coming live from the Mulungushi International Conference Center, delivering verified, accurate, and up-to-the-minute results as they happen.
Stay tuned to PTV2, the home of breaking news.
Welcome back. You are on the Sunrise Breakfast Show. This is the segment, another segment where we have another interesting interview. And right now I am joined by Chaplain Perry Skolala and Pastor Isaac Ngambi. And they are bringing together the Apostolic Faith Mission Zambia, Freedom Center Assembly, and Breed Church South Africa for the 2026 Prayer Summit under the powerful theme, Coffee with the King. Gentlemen and lady, thank you so much for coming onto the show today.
We are pleased to be here.
Okay. So this prayer summit highlights a unique partnership, right, between the Apostolic Faith Mission Zambia and the Breed Church Africa. Could you tell us about this collaboration?
Thank you so much. Coffee with the King. The collaboration, you have to understand that Coffee with the King is an interdenomination fellowship.
Okay.
Where also we have different churches coming in. That is where also we have apostolic faith mission. Yes, and under Apostle Lacson. Yes, so together we are hosting this conference. Yeah, this prayer summit, which is going to be on the 4th
Of July.
4th of July to the 5th of July. Yeah, so it's going to be a wonderful time. Yeah, and everybody should look forward to be part of it.
Okay, so you're telling me this is not the first time that you're having this conference now? Has it been done before?
So the prayer summit, it's the first time we are hosting.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and the collaboration was birthed out of a shared burden for revival and prayer to be restored across nations. And as Coffee with the King, here in Zambia, we collaborated with South Africa, coming together, knowing that the kingdom of God knows no borders. And so Zambia and South Africa will be coming together to stand in the gap for the nations.
Okay. Okay, so what kind of spiritual impact do you hope to give at this spiritual seminar or summit?
So the spiritual impact is that lives will be transformed because, Cathy, if you look around, there are so many things happening around the world, and all we need is prayer. Because with prayer, nothing is impossible. With prayer, God comes through. If you look in the Bible, it says, when people come together to pray, you know, God commands a blessing. Yes, if there is unity and people come together to pray, God commands a blessing.
Okay.
And as Zambia, we are tapping into this prayer. The prayer summit will bring transformation. The prayer summit will bring revival. It will bring restoration, you know, and families will never be the same.
Okay, we like that. So you have got an interesting title for the summit, Coffee with the King. How did you come up with that?
So Coffee with the King, like he has said, it's an interdenominational fellowship. So we normally come together to fellowship, to pray, and study the Word of God in depth. It is anchored on the scripture in Acts chapter 2, verse 42. And we come together and fellowship, and after that we have a cup of coffee. And like, you know, a friend or friends come together over a cup of tea, you know, they share, they relate. And so Coffee with the King, we come together to have this intimacy with our God and just enjoy his praises and fellowship.
That's interesting. Would you like to add?
For sure. Yeah, with this fellowship, it brings across different believers, yeah, including the people that just are coming to know the Lord. Everyone comes, and it provides a very wonderful platform for partnership, platform for fellowship, where we share a meal. Apart from just sharing a meal, we minister the word, counseling, you know, just exhorting for spiritual nourishment, and also other programs. We organize also other programs to help build the community.
Okay, that's great. So the foundational scripture for the summit is Luke 19:46, which states, "My house shall be called a house of prayer for all the nations." In a world today that is facing immense challenges, economic, you know, social issues, how do you think this mandate apply to Zambia today? we were just talking about debt, people are facing all kinds of things. So how do you think if someone comes to the prayer summit, they will be able to be helped to see maybe their lives in a different way?
So in this summit, God will do wonders. Zambia is a Christian nation. And so we carry the identity of Christ. And the characteristics of Christ has to be revealed in his people. And being a Christian nation, we are called to pray. And when we stand in prayer, in unity, God commands a blessing and he restores peace. There is transformation, there is healing, of the nation, of the economy. And there is, the atmosphere just changes when you pray.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, when we remember the scriptures, we are standing on the scriptures. If my people that are called by my name shall humble themselves, seek my face, pray, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven. I'll forgive their sins. I'll heal their land. And he says, my eyes will be there. My ears will be attentive to hear, to listen to their prayers. So what this prayer summit is bringing in healing. It's bringing in unity. It's also, there will be ministers who will be ministering the word of God. The word of God is the wisdom of God, the counsel of God, which contains the solution for all human problems, all human challenges. The word of God is the solution. So everybody will be participating or will be present in this summit. They'll be impacted with wisdom and give direction.
Okay. So I know maybe you have already said this, but I'm imagining there's someone sitting at home and they're listening and they're like, oh, I would like to go, but they're not sure whether they would like to come. So I just want you to really say a word that should make them feel like they need to come. Like, what will you tell them? Like, you don't have to doubt, just be there. What would you say?
Yes, the summit will be fully packed with programs. There will be worship, there will be intense prayers, there will be intimacy with God. And whenever you are in the presence of God, you don't just come out empty. You are restored, you are refreshed, and your spiritual perspective changes. You become an agent of transformation in communities, an agent of change. And so we are inviting everyone to come and fellowship with us, to come and have a divine encounter with our God. Yes, it will be a life-changing time in the presence of God.
Pastor Isaac, do you have a message?
Yes. For the people that are at home, I would want to encourage them to take this opportunity and be part of this move of God. There's a steering that is happening in the spirit, and there's a sermon. It's an appeal. So as we are here to appeal to you, to encourage you. Doesn't matter your situation, your condition. The Bible says, come to me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest. So the rest is found in the presence of the Lord. So it doesn't matter what is happening, but when people come, let them just come with an open heart, with a heart of faith, seeking new thing. There is a new thing that God is about to do in that life of my brother, my sister, my friend there who is listening to me. Something that God wants to do in their lives. They should look forward to be. Why? Because there are also servants of God that are visiting us, who have been sent, like the man of God, Prophet Patrick Rodrigo, is so anointed, highly anointed. The Lord uses him. He'll be able to minister to people. And also Pastor Marcus, God anoints us, given him an anointing of healing. There's healing. So there's a lot to expect. Every time God sends a messenger, there is something, a new thing is about to be birthed. Yeah, so my listeners should look forward to be part of this fellowship.
Okay. So is there a registration? Do they just have to come or they need to register before?
They just have to come. Those who are hearing the message now, you are invited to come. The registration is free. There's no payment, no charge. The gates are open, waiting for you. The atmosphere is fully charged. We've been praying. There's been a 21 days prayer and fasting prior to this program, which is finishing this week. Yeah, so we've been preparing for the same program, praying that God will visit us in this summit. Everybody who will be there, those who are believing God for healing, God heals them. Those who are believing God for restoration, God restores them. Maybe things are stuck, they've been on the same level for a long time. There will be an anointing that will break the yoke, that will break the limitation, and also there will be impartation. Yes.
So just now briefly tell us exactly where the summit is going to take place and from what time to what time. And maybe you can even go through again the speakers who are going to be there.
Okay, thank you, Cathy. We have Pastor Patrick Rodrigo, like he has mentioned, and Pastor Marcus Renin. They are both coming from South Africa. They are seasoned men of God, and they are well equipped with the word of God. And so it is a time of refreshing in the presence of God. And Zambia, we are in a year of elections, and we need to pray, to God to ask for guidance and also for the continuity of the peace of the nation as well as the other nations. And so the event will be starting on the 4th of July to the 6th of July.
Okay.
Yes, it will be a 3-day prayer summit with intense prayers and of course with worship as well. And it will be starting from 9 hours to 17 hours every day.
Okay, that's interesting. Do you have any last words you want to say?
Yeah, the last words that I want to say, this summit is also emphasizing on the need for intercession. So, like I told you, the minister who is coming is also an intercessor. So, the ministry of intercession, it will be all about intercession, standing in the gap, praying for families, praying. So there's going to be a lot that is taking place. Yeah, it's not only Pastor Marcus and Prophet Rodrigo. We also have local ministers who will be ministering in this conference. And we also have other gospel artists that are within, for the Coffee with the King, anointed praise and worship team. They'll be leading us. And we also have the harp ministry. The harpists will also be ministering in this conference. So it's going to be amazing.
Okay, so much grateful that you could make it today on the show. And we wish you the best at the summits. We hope that a lot of people will come, and definitely sounds like a place to be.
Of course, Cathy, you are invited. Everyone is invited. The youths out there, the women folk, and as well as the men. There's just something so special about a woman who prays. The woman who prays touches the heart of God, opens heavens, and heaven move, when it hears a woman who prays. The divine nature with the divine God. And, when a woman prays, even in the Bible, when you talk of Hannah, Hannah prayed and God opened her womb, and birthed a prophet. And she saved her nation, from being killed. And also, Mary herself, when she prayed, God birthed a savior through her. And so it's a call for everyone. We are inviting everyone to come and have this encounter with God.
Thank you so much for coming, and we wish you the best and pray the summit will be a success. Yeah, so that was Chaplain Perry Skolala and Pastor Isaac Ngambi. They are bringing together so make sure that you find yourself in Chainama this coming weekend so that you can be part of the interesting summit. So we'll be right back after this short break. Cathy, I hope you said everything. Oh my God. Welcome back. You are still on the Sunrise Breakfast Show as we hit our final moments on the show, but we don't go before we have our sports. So thank God today we have Jeremiah back on the set. I must say we missed you because we didn't know what to say, what to tell the viewers where you had been. Tell us yourself where you went.
My apologies to all the viewers out there, and I know that they expected to have a lot of sports. Unfortunately, I had to go in the field. But I think next time we need to have, even from wherever I will be,
Yes, definitely.
so that I have to do it from there.
You had us
need
tongue
to make
twisting here with the names and all that about football.
But
and
I'm glad
all.
that you were doing everything
We
possible
tried.
that you could.
Yeah, but we had interesting things that we looked at, like the amazing wins at the World Cup,
Yeah,
like,
the
you know,
World Cup.
5-0.
Yeah.
That's, was it Senegal? What?
Yeah, Senegal.
Yeah.
Some teams. Yeah,
They were
different
almost
teams.
leaving,
Yeah.
and then they scored that high goal, you know, making them like the first team to ever score such
big
highly.
margin.
Yeah. And then we also had South Africa that was like almost
I did.
You did?
Look, despite what is going on,
Yeah.
it's just a fraction of people
Yeah.
that are perpetrating whatever they're doing,
Mhm.
chasing people from their so-called illegal immigrants.
Mm.
But it's not the whole South Africans, and it's not everybody that is doing that.
Yeah.
And for me, instead of, it's like that situation where, you know, you were just from talking about the Bible and everything.
Mm.
And the Bible tells us, love your enemies.
Mhm.
So instead of showing them some hurt,
Mhm.
we have to show them some love. Maybe
Yeah.
they might just realize that what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
And it's just a fraction of people that do not really understand what Africa. And you know, for me, it's a very delicate situation that is happening in South Africa, because you might just think about it. They're just chasing Africans,
Mm.
but they're still ruled by, you know, Europeans.
Mhm.
Because in South Africa, there's even a place where they don't even allow blacks.
Mm.
They stay just themselves. That's a community of just whites.
Mhm.
If you have to go there, you need to have a reason, but you don't have to stay there.
Mm.
So it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why should you be chasing your fellow Africans
Mhm.
who helped you liberate your country? You know,
Mm.
so
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. It's like they don't really understand better.
Yeah.
And they're saying it's just undocumented immigrants, but if you really look at it deeply, it's
Mm.
everybody. As
Mm.
long as you're from different African or your neighbors, you have to go back. Which for me, I don't really agree with them.
Yeah.
But in as far as supporting them, being an African team,
Yeah.
I supported them fully.
Okay.
I did.
That's
And I
interesting.
wanted them to go through. And in fact, even last night when they were playing, I watched the game throughout, and I wanted them to score. But unfortunately, they had to stay back.
Mhm.
But they played very well.
Yeah.
They played well despite going out.
So that means they're out of
They're
the-
out.
oh,
Yeah,
dear.
they're out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's sad.
It's very sad. So what we have here today, and it's amazing to see that so many teams have performed very well. First of all, we did have the South African Open, Johannesburg Open, that is in terms of judo.
Mhm.
And these are the teams that are qualifying to go to the Commonwealth Games.
Okay.
So, and through these competitions that they're having, because judo, when it comes to qualifying for Olympics, early 2028, you have to play some of the games. Others, it's just about being, you know, the different qualification there. But for judo, they've already started qualifying.
Mhm.
So having so many teams that are, so many athletes that went to South Africa to go and participate in the Johannesburg Open, it was amazing to see that we managed to get a gold medal and three bronze medals. So
That's
we've got
great.
4 medals in total, which is a very good thing and a very good progression for Zambia as far as judo is concerned. So we applaud them, and thank you very much for doing exactly what they did. So we did have Rita Kavinda, who is from the 63 kg. She managed to get a gold medal, the only one with a gold medal from 63 kg. And then we have Andrew Kaswanande, who is the 90 kg, wins the bronze medal. And then we have Simon Zulu. He's always winning, Simon Zulu, and he managed to get his 60 kg, so he managed to get a bronze medal. Sylvia Nawila, 57 kg, also a bronze medal, which is a very good thing for Zambia, and appreciated for that. And then we did have, we spoke to the manager from Oriental Quadis Boxing Promotions. Z was talking about the boxing bout that is coming through this month.
Yeah.
Next
Are
month, actually,
those
July.
like the ones that
Next
used to
July.
support Esther?
Yeah, boxing.
Yeah.
Not
really.
necessarily, but
Okay.
Esther Piri is with the late, he was with Anton Mwamba,
Oh, okay.
the late, but I think it's about boxing, and they supported Esther Piri
Mhm.
in the last tournament that David Sniper Mwale.
Mhm.
They went to the same school, and they did everything completed together with Barbara Banda. So they were together. Barbara Banda started as an athlete, a boxer, you know, and she came into football as well. So she was doing it. She multi-talented kind of person. So this is David Bwalya. They're fighting. He's a WBC order. So they're fighting is a challenge coming from South Africa, Charlton Marajika. So they will be fighting on the 25th of July, 2026. And the roadmap is that Marajika will be arriving in Zambia on the 23rd of July. And then 24th, they will be having a weighing in. And then on the, obviously all the boxers should be in Zambia by Thursday. Then on Friday, we have the weighing in. And obviously on Saturday, that's when the boxing bout is going to be at Government Complex. Last time around, when we had this kind of a tournament, it was fully packed and sold out, completely sold out. It was amazing that a lot of people had to go just outside and watch from outside and wait to just watch on the phones. And they had to wait until somebody walks out, somebody's walking in. So you don't have a chance. When you walk out, you will find somebody else has walked in. So it seems that David Sniper Mwale is bringing a lot of fans coming through to the to this, and he's a cop. He's a cop. He was promoted so many times. When he won the WBC, he was promoted, and I'm pretty sure that if he defends this for the second time, he's going to be promoted as well. So that's how things are just going to be, and probably it's just a very good, talented fight. Top boxing, obviously, she bout that you can get. So but others like Catherine Piri didn't go through silver. She went from international to gold straight.
All the way.
Yeah, and she had to go and win it in Mexico, beat the champion from Mexico, and it's really a difficult terrain to get a bout from. The boxers in Mexico are very tough. It doesn't matter whether a boy or a man, they're very tough. So probably they came through and she managed to win it on a knockout stage, and probably she became the first African woman to win the WBC. So she opened the doors for the likes of Zarika and some others that have managed to win in South Africa. So many of those that have managed to get into this and managed to win this gold medal, in fact WBC. So she was the first one in Africa. She opened the doors for Africans, and the first one in Zambia to win the WBC, and the first woman, man or woman in Zambia to win a WBC. So it was amazing, actually, to win a WBC gold, because Lord Mwale won a WBC international, which she equaled when she won the first WBC. And of course, David Sniper Mwale has equaled that as well, and is also a Mwale. So it seems Easterners are the ones that are very much into fighting.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we did go for, on Saturday, I attended, I didn't run though, but yeah, it was a marathon.
There are marathons almost every weekend.
Yeah, but this one is for a good cause. You remember that we had somebody that was coming from National Sports Council? Yeah, for climate change. So it was amazing to see the PS running as well. He ran 15 Ks. It was amazing for him to do that. And then there was a lot of things that happened, and tree planting at Nasdaq Sports Complex. So because they had to show this, and Zanaco has already started doing this because they want to have 1 million trees planted, and they've been doing this. We planted at Hero Stadium. Where the president was, around there we planted. Around Hero Stadium we planted from different places. We planted at Nasdaq with a lot of people that came through to do this planting. And then one good thing is that despite the fact that I didn't get a tree because I wasn't going home straight, so they were giving trees for you to go and plant at your house.
Oh, that's
So
nice.
it
Were
was
these
amazing.
like fruit trees or just trees?
Fruit tree, different trees.
Okay.
Fruit trees, and yeah, because I saw some mango trees, avocado trees and stuff. So different trees. It depends on which one you pick. So you have to pick a tree. But it's unfortunate that I was going to the next one, so I couldn't pick a tree for me to move around with it. But we planted, which is a good thing. So the PS was a guest of honor, and there were, even included in this was the disabled. So they had to run 15 kilometers, some of them on the wheelchair. It was amazing. It was very, very fantastic. And then, so we had so many people coming, and there were coffee being given to people after running, drinks, water, a lot of things happened, and they were colorful and everything. So some of them who can't manage to run, they were walking. So it was amazing. But of course, with a camera, I can't run. So
Next time, let me carry the camera.
I was just capturing for them. So you can see that, the PS was in red and black, so he was just really amazing, just doing everything.
The others were in green?
Very
green.
fit one.
Were they wearing
It was green. Everybody else was green. You remember that day?
I met some on my way because I do my own run. So they were coming from this side and I'm going this other side. Yeah, it was nice to see a lot of people turn up.
Very nice. The turning out was amazing, and I think that for the good cause. And this is the second one that was a very successful one, and appreciated for everybody that came through and participated in the marathon. And coming through to Paul, Mr. Strong. This man has always been great because he managed to win another one. It's a world championship, and he went to the US and managed to win this beautiful one. It's called the 2026 Ultimate Strongman Under 105 Masters World Championship. So he managed to win it. It's the first African to win it.
Like it's not the same one as he won the last time?
Yeah, it's a different one.
Okay.
Yeah, so he is just been amazing. You can see that he came first, and there was second. The second was Mark Barton, and third was Maris Rosettos. So these are some of them that managed to win. But of course, Paul Mwanza, the first one, and he's becoming very strong. And the very first time that he actually changed, and you know, this guy was before he got into the Masters. So we went to Livingstone, and the first one that we hosted, the Africa Championship, a Strongman Championship, that happened in Livingstone. It was when they were trying to do sports, tourism, sports tourism. So when they were just launching it, so Mr. Strong was the Africa Championship went to Livingstone. It was amazing. So he was told that you have to change your category, get into the Masters because you're getting older, so that you start winning. And from the time he changed, he's been winning. So I saw him changing from where he was, where it's very competitive, and then moving to a different category where he's the Masters under 105, where he's winning. He's been winning from that time since that time he became world champion. But even here, when he was in that category, he managed to win African championship. So he was a championship order. And then there was a lady as well who was very fantastic as well, very beautiful. And in fact, it was.
There was a lady, but is she Zambian?
Yeah, she is Zambian.
Oh.
So she made, the mother has never been, because the father used to do this strong man and strong women and stuff. But the mother wasn't really part of it, and she never liked it.
Yeah.
And she never wanted the daughter to do that. But she was pushed. The mother just saw for the first time in her life, she saw the daughter performing, and she became the champion, African champion. She went to the world championship, and I think she came second or something. And she's been really a very strong woman. For that matter, and we were there to see exactly what happens. And of course, I can't actually lift those those heavy weights.
Yeah,
they're very heavy.
They are very heavy.
And you know what they do? It's not that you just pick one and move on. There's so many categories you have to do. So many categories you have to run with them from this time to taking them to this outside and then bringing them back. And then there's where we have to put them over some rope or something. And then so many things that you have to do. Sometimes they get to even pull cars, you know. So it's different categories that they do. These guys are very strong.
Yeah.
It's different from bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is the muscles. But these guys is for building strength.
Yeah.
So for them, it's a strength. Bodybuilding, yes, they do have the strength, but for them, it's just to build muscles. So they have to build muscles. So there's bodybuilding, and there's a strong one.
So Paul's win makes him the strongest man.
Yeah, in Zambia. He's the strongest in the world now. Yeah. So you and then there's a cop also who's doing the same things. We started doing it.
Okay.
So we do have some others that are really following in his footsteps, and he was honored by the president. So he was even given a car. Yeah, because he can't ride in a small car.
It has to be
big,
powerful.
Yeah, because I think he's tall, and then so these Corollas these Vitz he can't fit.
Yeah.
So I had to give him a car that fits him.
Okay.
And then we did have in football, we've got what we call the playoffs. So the teams that are qualifying from provincial Division 1, they have to qualify to Division 2, because we've got 10 provinces, and we only need 6 of those teams to qualify to these provincial for Division 1, National Division 1. So National Division 1 is the biggest in terms of it's second from the first one. The second edition. The first one is the MTN Power Super League, and then there's National Division 1, and then Provincial Division 1. So Provincial Division 1, because we've got 10 provinces, in each province they do come together. Each team that managed to win from their province, they come together and then play their games, and then they will pick the best 6 of those teams. So the best 5 will go straight into National Division 1. But of course, the 6th one will go for playoffs, again with a team that has been demoted. So they're still playing some demotions and all that. So we do have some of the young green Buffaloes qualified. We had Kamwala Stars qualifying, Kamwala Stars Queens as well qualified. And then, of course, we did have other teams that qualified as well into for mains as well. They did qualify into this provincial National Division 1. So they're still playing the playoffs.
Okay.
They're happening at Mila grounds as well as Relay grounds. That's where they're playing from. And then coming through to the Copper Princesses, they will be playing on very soon. Of course, on the 4th of July, they are playing against Ethiopia in the World Cup qualifier. And mind you, they've qualified 2 times concurrently to the World Cup. So if they qualify this time around if they beat Ethiopia at home and away on aggregate, they will qualify for the 3rd time in a row, qualifying to the World Cup. But I think there is no problem for them to qualify. It seems this is their birthmark in terms of qualifying to the World Cup. They've been qualifying. They've got a very good coach in Carlo Kanyemba, who has been instrumental, and a friend.
She's a local. Yeah.
She's local. Yeah, she's been here several times. We've really done sports together on radio. That is back in the days before she became busy, and before we moved here, where it's very far for her to come here. But anyways, she's local. All the technical bench, and as far as the under 17 is concerned, they are local. Yeah, they're doing very well, and a lot of people have been saying, let's improve, let's continue pushing her, and probably give her the credentials that she requires for her to take up the mantle of the Copper Queens coach. And she's got what it takes for her to do that, because she analyzes, she understands football from the beginning. She had a team as well, and one of the players that was realized from her team was Mulenga, who is the Zambia #1 goalkeeper, who plays for Power Dynamos. So he came from her hands. So she knows what football is all about. But of course, we're playing against Ethiopia at Levi Monawasa Stadium on the 4th. And then later on, on the next Saturday, we will go and play in Ethiopia. We beat them, we qualify to the World Cup. And she made a name for herself, qualifying into the knockout stages as the first Zambian, male or female, to qualify a team at the World Cup into the knockout stages. So she's saying, I have to beat that. So for her, qualifying is not a problem. For her, beating the knockout stage, going into the next round of fixtures is what she's looking forward to. And then, of course, we do have the Copper Queens who are in camp. On the 25th of July, we will be getting to the WAFCON, which will be hosted in Morocco. It was supposed to be in March, but unfortunately there was some wrangles, Morocco complaining about the Africa Cup of Nations that they hosted, that they had done by. They felt like they won the Africa Cup of Nations, so they had to write to CAF, and CAF gave them that you are the winner. But of course, Senegal, who won it on the pitch, said, no, there's no boardroom issues, so we are taking you to CAS. So the issue has been taken to CAS. We haven't heard from CAS yet. And then after that, they came on the round table and discussed the further. So the Under-17 World Cup is going to be hosted in Morocco. The WAFCON is going to be hosted in Morocco. The Futsal Africa Cup of Nations is going to be hosted in Morocco. But they just changed the dates because all these things were supposed to be before August. But then they've moved them forward because the Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON, will start in August. In July, I beg your pardon. And then, of course, we do have up to August. And then we've got the WAFCON, which is the Futsal Africa Cup of Nations will be in October, and the Under-17 in November. So they've changed just the dates, but of course the hosts are the same. So these are the fixtures for the Copper Queens in Group C. They have Nigeria. You remember Nigeria at WAFCON beat us really massively, and it was embarrassing to lose that. And I wasn't in Lusaka. I was in where was I?
You were somewhere.
I was somewhere. Chirundo. So I was watching from where we were, and then Nigeria beat us. I couldn't sleep. It was very sad. But anyways, we've got Malawi and we've got Egypt. So and a lot of people are saying we need to beat Nigeria. When we beat Nigeria, we qualify to the next round of fixtures. Malawi is not a pushover, but I think Malawi is going to be a very difficult game because they are neighbors, and we play the same kind of football, so it's going to be really difficult. Egypt, well, we'll see what happens because we have to also play Algeria before the Africa Cup or the WAFCON, as they call it. So we have to feel how the North African teams play. So we will play against them. So we'll see exactly how that is going to be just before the WAFCON. And they're in camp already. Now we come to the World Cup. I know I don't really like talking about, but I have to because for the first time in the longest time, we've got 10 teams, African team, 10 teams that qualified to the Africa Cup of Nations, and only one team went out in the group stages, that is Tunisia, and the rest of them went into the round of 32. For the first time, we have so many numbers, and there are teams like Cape Verde qualified for the first time in the round of 32 or in the knockout stages. South Africa qualified for the first time. So many of them doing the first time thing that have qualified to this. Ghana have really done that before. Morocco have done it. In fact, Morocco went in as far as going into the semi-finals, and they became fourth after losing in the third and fourth playoffs. So they've done really tremendously well in terms of that. Algeria for the first time. Ghana, I think they've done it before, and then other teams that are participating in this. So it's a good thing that African teams have done that. Unfortunately, it came to an end for South Africans. They lost to Canada, and Canada have qualified into the round of 32 for the first time, round of 16 for the first time as well, and the first team to qualify after beating South Africa in 1-0 in the 92nd minute.
Wow,
it
that's
was the last
painful.
minute. Very painful. You can imagine you've defended very well, and you are thinking, okay, I think we're getting to the coach is already planning.
Yeah.
It's 5 minutes before the end of the game, because that is added time. So in added time, it's 5 minutes. And in that 2 minutes played, that's when they score against you. You played very well. You've already changed your mindset and saying, okay, we are going for 30 minutes in terms of, the extra time.
Okay.
And then after extra time, we might get into the penalties. You're preparing for that, and then they score against you, and you can't come back.
Wow.
And then they started really pushing. And I think for me, if South Africa were pushing the way they pushed in the 3 minutes that was remaining, I think they could have scored. But it's unfortunate that they were sitting back, and there are some reservations and all that. But I think for me, they have to praise themselves. They really played very well. They're a very fantastic team. And the fact that Zambians have been told to go the Cape Verde way. Also, the Cape Verde way is, even Morocco, they've really got so many players that are born from, they are South Africa or Moroccans, but they're born from somewhere else, like in Europe. So they're getting them and bringing them back to Africa to play for their teams. That's Cape Verde, and that's what they've done, and they've done really well. Look at their performances, look at Morocco's performance. But in South Africa, they've got South Africans who were born in South Africa, so homegrown players. And they've really done very well for themselves. And if you really look at those teams, it's just South African teams. Mamelodi Sundowns, some few players from Orlando Pirates and others from different places. But of course, Mamelodi Sundowns, more of them coming from there. And this is what we need. In Zambia, we don't have to look at what is not happening or what can't work for us. Like, for example, if we need to go the Cape Verde way, we have to change how we formalize in terms of getting passports. And all this, because it's so cumbersome. You know, the paperwork in Zambia, it's a lot of things that brings that back. You remember even the president talked about all these things, about paperwork and everything slows down. So there's certain things that you need to go, which is really direct and fast. So we already have some players that played for Zambia, and they were supposed to come here, but they can't, because it's really a lot of paperwork that they have to do, and they've really gone down to the drain. We've forgotten about them. So we can't go that far. We end up getting players that are not really as good as we expect them to be. But I think if we go the local way, because we've got so much talent in our local. You remember that in 2012, they had local players, homegrown players that managed to go and win. And most of those were not playing in Europe. Most of them were playing from South Africa. And some of them from TP Mazembe in Congo. So you can imagine, and some of them from local. And you can imagine that these are the players that we had. At that time, we only had Mayuka playing in Europe, the captain, Christopher Katongo, playing in Europe. Most of them were playing from here. He was playing in Germany that time. And you can imagine that we managed, and maybe Jemba, who was playing in China. So a lot of them were playing from Zambia, and we managed to do this. We can manage to do it if we put our heads together and know exactly what we want. It's like we don't know what we really want. We're bringing coaches. How many coaches have we changed? More than we've changed. Have we won? More than we've won trophies. We've changed players. Different players coming. Every call-up, we've got different players. But we need to have players that are going to stay together, work together, play together. Because the 2012 started from 2004, making this team. Karusha Bwalya was a coach at that time. And he became a director at Football Association of Zambia, TD, and he became a vice president. He became a president, and they were just going straight to different places, and of course they managed to get the medal when he was the president of Football Association of Zambia. So they started a long way, 10-year plan. So that's what we need. We need to have a longest plan, and of course put that plan into work, because we like so much of those theories and everything. And that's a problem that we have in Zambia. And bring a coach that is going to stay with us. Every now was staying here. He married here anyway. So yeah, and he's got a child here. So yeah, so let's have a coach that is going to be for Zambians and not a coach that is like a tourist. He only comes here when we've got fixtures, but he's going back to his place of origin and leave us without any tangible results. So, well, this is much more of what we had in terms of sports.
Interesting. It's always nice to hear what's going on in the sporting world, because, you know, they need a specific understanding, like you do, you know. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. I missed you too. I missed you a lot, actually.
Well, glad you're here.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, that's great.
Like
so
Cristiano Ronaldo announced, I'm back.
I'm back, just like that.
Yeah.
So, and he's doing well?
Yeah, he is. They're in the round of 32, so we should see how they play. Today we do have some fixtures. Brazil will be playing, and so many of them fixtures. Yesterday we only had one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So today people won't have to sleep.
Zombies.
At least. Okay. Thank you so much, Jeremiah.
Thank you.
Well, that brings us to the end of the Sunrise Breakfast Show. We would like to thank you so much for staying with us and keeping us company. We hope that we've made your morning, and look out for another interesting show on Wednesday when you join me, Rhoda, and Kizito with Jeremiah. So until then, have a great day and a great week ahead.
Early in the morning, fire on the stove, love in a pie, that's the life we know. From the fields to the table, every bite it shows. Primarily me, the taste of home. Primarily me, the taste